Testimony resumed today in the trial of Karen Read.
And closing arguments underway in President Trump's hush money trial. Here to break it all down for us is former Massachusetts Attorney General and legal analyst for Foley Hoag, Martha Coley. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Maria. Hi, Shana.
Yeah, good to see you, Martha, as always. So let's start with the former president's trial. A lot of focus today was on both sides was the testimony of Trump's former fixer, so-called fixer, Michael Cohen. Why spend so much time breaking down that testimony?
Well, I think the defense really wanted to try and hammer home to the jury that he's a liar. And so you can't believe anything Michael Cohen says. And that was their job, because the jury will be told you can believe all or nothing or some of what Michael Cohen says. So they can pick and choose. And on top of that, the prosecutor will try and say to the jury, this is the guy who did what Donald Trump wanted him to do. And by the way, you don't just have to believe him. There's lots of collaborating evidence that they can look at to find they believe the important parts of what Michael Cohen testified to. That is, that Trump knew these records were being created, and it really was to interfere with an election, one of the theories.
Wow, it's all so interesting. And it's been around 5 days since jurors were last in the courtroom in this trial. How much do those gaps like that play into how a lawyer delivers closing statements?
I think it really affects the juries more than the lawyers. So the lawyer for the prosecutor is still arguing as we speak. Each of them gave like a 3 to 4 hour summary, which is a long time. But the judge is aware the jury needs breaks. He's taking, control over that. And I think from what I've heard, because I'm not in the courtroom, the defense lawyer was kind of roundabout, a little rambling, but the prosecution really provided a good roadmap to the jurors about what they heard, what they had promised at opening, and what they could find based upon including Michael Cohen's testimony and other documents, how they could find the charges as alleged. So the jurors are paying attention, and I think they're going to pay attention to these closings.
All right, let's turn to the Karen Read murder trial. Today, we heard testimony from the niece and nephew. And we didn't hear it because there were no cameras allowed in the courtroom for their testimony. So we got the information from our David Bieniek, who's been in the courtroom, and it's about police officer John O'Keefe, their uncle, who they opened up about they said there's some trouble in his relationship with Karen Read. Why is that so significant?
Well, if you think of it, these two young people, and their privacy being protected by the court, probably have the most information about both Karen and John and their relationship together because they lived with John O'Keefe. And they were testifying to some of the rockier times in the relationship, which the prosecution alleges goes to her motive, her intent, if she in fact did operate her motor vehicle that night in a way that killed him. There's various things they can find. But that's important for the prosecution to try and get across. She was angry at him, she was thinking about breaking up, or he was breaking up with her. And the children had a front row seat to that relationship. So I think it might have been difficult for the kids, but as long as they agreed to do it, it was smart on the prosecution's part to bring them in.
Great insight. Martha Coley, thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay well.
Have a good night.